Alright, ladies, gentlemen, and kids, thanks to Henderson Harley Davidson in Henderson, Nevada, and Harley Davidson in North America, today I'll be riding this monster. It's the Harley Davidson Ultra Limited. Okay, let me see how I get it. There you go. Oh damn, this thing is massive. This is basically one of their flagship touring motorcycles, also known as the competitor to the ultra popular Honda Goldwing, or the K1600 GT BMW, and the Indian Roadmaster. This is like a luxury bike compared to the other Harley bikes, like the Street Glide, like that guy over there. So just like the Street Glide, it has similar gauge layout: fuel, voltmeter, speedo, tach. Alrighty, let's go. Alrighty. Alright, ergonomics check. I'm 6'3", 200 to 220 pounds with a 32-inch inseam and a size 13 boot. I have better room than the Street Glide that I rode earlier. I don't have to stick my feet up too much. And one thing I notice, I will know that I have a better wind protection in this bike than basically all Harleys in their lineup. This bike doesn't feel as jarring as the other bikes. The clutch engagement is on a heavy side, and at the same time the clutch release is somewhat tricky at the first impression, because it will release when you're about to fully let go of the bike. What the hell, it went to neutral. I like the refinement of this bike better than the Street Glide, so by far. It's very smooth. I like it. The Glide series is pretty different compared to the new Softail series. I don't know. It's unique. But this thing is massive. The seat really sinks you in, as if it has like a memory foam in the seats. So far so good. This bike is very comfortable. It doesn't jar you. The suspension is pretty refined. It's not as harsh as what you would expect. Of course, it's a flagship bike, but for some reason I like riding this thing. It makes you want to tour around the country. I know so many people who owns a bike like this. I have a uncle who has one trike and one of this. As you can see, this one has this bike has the smaller Milwaukee 8 engine. It's not like the Fat Boy and the Fat Bob that I rode previously. It has the monster 114. Let me see if I can put this to neutral. Come on, put it neutral. No. There you go. Now it's on neutral. Thank goodness. One thing I noticed about this bike, it kind of feels cramped in here for my height. Feels like I'm sitting in a low standing chair. To most people it's okay, but for me, I'm a tall guy, and it feels a little cramped in here. Come on, neutral. You can't. Damn it. Can't do neutral. It's always a chore riding these bikes and put it in neutral. Let me roll it. And no, it's on second gear. There you go. The trick is roll it slowly and rev it just a smidge, and then you'll be okay. This is a perfect day to go out riding right now in Las Vegas. I'm not so sure if this bike is also related to the cop bike, but this is not an electric glide. This is like an Ultra Limited. I'm not so sure. We're about to enter the freeway soon. So to hear that musical Milwaukee 8 107 engine. Let's see how this bike revs. He's pretty good too. Man, this thing is so smooth in the freeway. Wind buffeting, no problem. It will shield you towards the elements at some point. See, there's no wind hitting my chest, but I can feel a slight bubble in my head on these freeway runs. That sounds nice though. This bike will be awesome inside a tunnel, because this V-twin sounds delicious. Yeah, it's pretty stable on the freeway. Okay, it shields you really well. It won't flop you around. Of course, this bike is almost weighs like a car already. Okay, right now I'm already hitting between 65 to 70 miles an hour, and I can really feel the bobbing sensation of my helmet. It doesn't deliver that much better protection compared to the Street Glide that I rode earlier. That one has a better helmet, better wind protection on my helmet. Doesn't bob my head much. Alright, once this car merge, I'm gonna give it some beans. I'm gonna do all American noise in it. If ever this car merges to the left, please merge. It's not merging. Could be a rebel right now. Make some noise. This lady's not merging. Oh, it's exiting too. Cry out loud. Maybe I'll just make some noise as I approach a corner or something. Just like the Street Glide, I mean, it has that knobby tire feeling. Maybe it's the harshness of its engine vibration, because whenever it goes low speeds, it feels like, yeah, the engine vibration feels like you're riding on a motorcycle with knobbies, just like the Street Glide that I rode earlier. It only happens in slow speeds, but once you get going, it gets really, it smoothens out right away. Just like the Street Glide and some Harley models, this one has a keyless start. So if you have a key fob, you can just leave it in your pocket, twist this little thing, prep it up over here, and start it over here. It's next to the hazard light. Man, this clutch is heavy. Yeah, every time I'm coasting, especially right now it's downhill, the engine vibrations turns this bike into a dirt bike that weighs maybe like 3 dirt bikes. Because it has that knobby tire feeling when you're coasting because of its engine vibration. I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard from someone who was riding motorcycles for so many years. He told me that's the problem with the Road Glide series, like this one, Electro Glide, Street Glide, that their engine vibrations are somewhat notorious. That's why when just like the Street Glide, Every time I let go of the gas or the accelerator right now, it feels like I'm riding on a bike with knobbies. Just to point that out a little bit. The side mirrors on this bike, typically standard fare Harley Davidson. Unlike some Harleys that I've ridden, it doesn't hit my knuckles that easily. See, it has decent clearance. So that's good. Rev matching this bike, just like the Street Glide, is easy to rev matching. Will I daily this bike? I don't think so. This bike is just massive. It's like a Goldwing almost. I can't take this bike every day. This is a good meet-up bike, a good bike meet motorcycle, but for daily commuting, I won't. Forget it. This bike is simply too heavy for me to lug around every day. It rides like a truck. See, look at that. It's not as, it doesn't want it to go snappy. It forces you to go lazy riding. Try it sitting straight like a naked bike. Yeah, significant wind noise that I'm feeling through my neck right now. See, I'm really high. But just like any cruisers, it forces you to slouch. So there you go. Alrighty, let's test its slow speed ability. Oh, very nice. But it's fun to ride though. For a massive bike like this, it's very fun to ride. If you're a Harley fan, it depends on what type of bike you really need. Personally, I still love the Fat Boy. I don't care. I love the Fat Boy. This is a little bit too much for me. Too luxurious, what you call it. And to compare it with other big bikes, they're in the same class, but this one has a certain charm that most Harley fans would love. I can switch gears like a traditional motorcycle, like up, or I can do the seesaw style, the opposite one, where I kick if I want it to upshift. It has that seesaw gear selector, so it's practical for people who has a hard time flicking up their foot. So that's a good one. That's the only thing that these cruisers have, is you can have an inverted lever installed on these bikes. See, it's easy, but I'm so used to flicking up. You can still do that, but good thing with it on this bike, I have enough toe room to flick it up. Unlike the Street Glide, I'm forced to kick it down instead of flicking it up. That bike too has a seesaw gear selector. Personally, I like the gauges on this Ultra Limited compared to the Street Glide. It's much more readable. I can see better in these gauges compared to the Street Glide, which is a white-faced gauges. It's personal preference, but yeah, that's my opinion. One thing to note out too, this bike has more speakers than the Street Glide. You see those two things over there? I think they're the subwoofers or whatever. I'm not gonna audiophile myself, but it's something to point it out. But it kind of helps you getting through to the high winds while riding. It shields you really good. So if you're going to Phoenix in the middle of April and you get bombarded with bugs, this bike will pretty cover you. Yeah, this bike is really chunky. Even its handlebars are thick. Look at that. Look at that, massive. See, you can really hang on to it. It's not like one of those bikes that are like barbecue sticks. Well, one thing I noticed about this bike has fog lights. Awesome. for inclement weather or total darkness. That's pretty cool. I think you can fit it. There's so many things that you can outfit this bike. It's not even funny. Just a thing to point out on how this bike shakes. Look how much it shakes. See, it shakes here, shakes over here, shakes over here. Even the pedal shakes. It's like it has a... It could just go like that. It looks like it's alive. Look at that. One thing good about the old Ultra Limited like this is a good for for couples too, because they have tons of room behind me, and they can just have a nice day out in the road and whatever couples do. Right now we're going back to the dealership right now, and once again I would like to thank Henderson Harley Davidson at Warm Springs, close to Sunset and I-515 here in the Las Vegas area in Nevada, in the city of Henderson. Fun group, fun time. This bike revs so low, I keep on jumping it. And here you go. Alright, we're back here. Closing ceremony. Off. Off. You can hear it's a fan blowing right now. Same goes with the other big Harleys. It's tricky to look for the kickstand, and it leans scarily to the side. So there you go. Extra speakers for your couple. Big ass bike. Wow. And it has that Milwaukee engine here. I like the collar. The Harley Davidson collar right there. Pretty roomy. Has that luggage space right here. Very nice. It's a very cool bike, I should say. All I can say to it is ride it first, because each person is different. Some might like it, some might not, but that's my review. Thumbs up still, but there you go. Please subscribe on my channel. Follow me on any social media. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.